maybe this will answer for you. This isn't just a random name that we pulled out of our buttholes because it had. And then that became a joke that we're soulmates non-sexually.
You're my soulmate, like in a friend way. There's just too many words.
And then Kayla had a whole rabbit trail that she led me down about souls and soul connections. And that's what we're talking about today.
Dude, souls, it's a whole topic that I am really excited to get into.
We're starting off with the question of, is there a particular song that you feel reaches in and like tickles your soul? That said, I grew up my whole life thinking that like church really moved me, and then I went to a concert and it turns out I just love live music.
You sent that to me and I about fell out of my chair. I love me a good harmony.
My whole like circle of life came together when I read that meme. So for anybody who says memes aren't important, that was like a pivotal shift in my life. I really identified a major source of connection in my life to music.
Music has always moved me a lot. Like, obviously I was a band geek and I played piano and I sung in choir and I did show choir. Like literally anything musical, I was there. Like there would be times where we would hit the crescendo of the part in the song where I would like tear up.
I think music is spiritual, and I think music was my first instance of connecting to something bigger than myself. I feel like I keep having whole church experiences, if you will, in my car. Because my other song that I feel like was a soul tickler, there's something about like a raspy dude singing like bluegrass music that has lyrics that talk about just common human suffering that really seems to get to me. Because there's by Tyler Childers called Universal Sound. Well, I mean universal sound, but he's kind of talking about like the sound of the universe and how we're all connected through this like basically saying we're all connected through this vibration, which I'm also really here for, and I get really into the lyrics. But he has a part where he talks about like, when I die, return me to the universal sound, which then ties right into what we were talking about. But also anytime like a church choir comes in the background of a rap song.
Ask Kenny if there is ever a church choir or just a woman singing higher notes in the background. Is Chris Brown's Indigo CD or album. CD. I'm dating myself. Yeah. It's like there's some songs that are kind of moody, and then there's some songs that are like really uplifty, some are like good vibes, and then there's some that are like a little harder hitting. So I happenstance across this book, and I just found it so freaking interesting to hear a different perspective on what happens in the afterlife. Yes.
As I've gotten older, I find it very arrogant to think that you think of all of the religion in the world and all of the like people that have existed in the world and across time, that your teeny tiny little dot of a perspective is the interpretation. Because like, what if the soul, like what if what you're about to describe actually fits into all these other religions? It's just we all have like a little piece of what like the divine looks like, and we just can't. We've all been just trying to pin it down into its little corner, and it's like, no, I'm bigger than that.
I don't really feel like I need to find the answers in this lifetime on this earth, in this body of mine right now. Like, tell us what the freaking book is called. It's called Journey of Souls, by Michael Newton. So he does hypnosis. He did a case study on, I believe, 29 people to help them find their way through past lives and then what happens in between the past lives. Once you die, they kind of watch themselves leave their body, and it's not painful, it's not sad, it's not scary, but it's a little unknown. You go basically up into this other eternity area where your soul reconnects with like your other soulmates and your family soul and your friend souls, and everyone's like, it's like a hub. It's like that's where actually life is. In each lifetime you go into, you are learning a lesson. You are trying to better yourself. You are experiencing something not to punish you or reward you in this lifetime. It's all a stepping stone to get to the next level of your soul life. Decide what life you're going to come back into, because you get to decide, and then you go into your body, you live your life, you learn your lesson, and then you come back up and you like basically study group it up there. Like, what did you learn in this life, Kaylee? What did tend to find each other down here in different relationships, and what that looks like is a little different every time, but you typically do find your soul people, which is why, soulmates has always spoken to me. Phobias and but what if you died in a car crash in one of your past lives? Like, you kind of have these weird memories, and some people remember more than others, and sometimes you don't remember anything. It made it less daunting, and it made me feel like just less pressure. Like, let me do my absolute best in this life, and I'm gonna go back up and rehash everything out with my besties up there.
It just happens. I have had like definitive moments in my life where I've met people and it's just like this weird click. And we are the aliens. Okay.
So here for the women voices in the background.
Oh my god.
Whatever kind of stuff they're doing in the background, I love that